because I was always trying to find what is that program that will feel like I'm like what's the program that's going to motivate me to keep learning or to expand my thought process that I can implement into my workplace. And it wasn't until I came here and was around, like, I don't know if I can say like-minded people, but people who had that in mind as well, and so we had that common ground, and I was motivated then to, you know, pursue my education further as well, right? So I think from a colleague perspective, everyone is learning. I think that's just whether it's through osmosis or just whatever it is, like just observation and all that kind of stuff, that I think that's played a huge role in my decision to start my master's and continue on with it and be able to discuss kind of what I'm learning based on what we're seeing.
You've talked about being a married woman. Congratulations. So I know that's a relatively new aspect of your life, but still important and influential. And in terms of your education and career, is there, what is that dynamic like in terms of, how that may be influential for your career and academic trajectories and decision making, of course.
Yeah, for sure. So it is new. Literally like 5-6 months old.
Right.
But it was a topic of discussion when we were getting to know each other and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
More so on the basis of just, you know, what does my daily life and situation look like, and how does it influence me outside of work and all that kind of stuff. So you know, we did talk about the fact that I'm currently doing my master's part-time. I am working full-time, and that was something that I would continue to do and see through to the end. He is educated himself, so he's a medical doctor, has lived away from home to pursue that, and sees relevance to education from both partners, because it brings a different perspective to the relationship. We hope to start a family one day, and so the impact of that on children, and even just family in general. So being able to see kind of different perspectives from a family, right? And not come in single-mindedly thinking this is how it's going to be, but your work and your education kind of influence how you think and approach things too. And so we kind of both bring that to the table. You know, fortunately, it was never even a topic of discussion, like, you know, would I continue to work or would I continue to pursue my education or anything like that. That was, you know, not something that I ever, or, you know, hopefully need to worry about, because it's not something that we see as a hindrance, and in fact see it as something that would have a really positive influence on our life.
Excuse me. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm just eyeballing the next few questions. I think you've touched on it here and there, but so you did share a little bit about your experiences of cultural and religious, which you shared about even outside of the university setting and being in that meeting. So unless there's another example or something specific from the university setting that came up, but it seems like you've shared that there's a sense of comprehension of culture and religion here that you might not have experienced in your previous work environment.
So where I worked prior to this, there were a lot of it was supporting newcomers, and so even in that context, that was my first experience where, okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. When you work in the private sector in a human resources environment, you're almost asked not to discuss your identities and not to associate yourself with specific people in specific departments, because you don't want it to appear as though you are favoring one over another, etc. And so there was this sense of keeping who you are to yourself. Whereas when I worked in an environment where it was supporting newcomers, it was almost like those identities are what helped them feel comfortable and what humanized us, so that, you know, like if I have a different cultural background and religious background and identify with those things so closely, I didn't lose that by being born and raised here. And so they're coming from an environment where their concern is, am I going to have to lose